Okay, today we're going to learn how to knit on the plastic LK100 knitting machine. So this is the first machine that I bought. I would recommend this for anyone that wants to start out on a knitting machine. It's lightweight and portable. This is the carriage here. It has the little yarn mast built into it. This is the tension dial that determines your stitch size, and here are the needles. There are 90 needles on this knitting machine, and these are all the tools that came with it. Now I can grab my clamps here and just secure my knitting machine to my table. And once your yarn is prepped, meaning it's been wound into a cake or a cone, I can begin to thread it through my carriage. So I'm just putting it through the gate and the tension disc and just pulling it through the tension rod here. And I like to just wrap the yarn around my clamp here to secure the end. And now we can pull forward as many needles as we need. And using the opposite side of my needle selector tool, I'm going to push back every other needle to the back and then just knit one row. So this is what it will look like after one row. You can take your claw weight and just hang it across the bottom and add a little weight to it. And then now we're going to use that same needle tool, push all of the needles into a line and then knit across. Once you have a little bit of fabric there, you can hang some extra weights on each end of your work and just start knitting. And every few rows, I will just lift up my claw weights and just hang them closer to the top of the machine just to keep that tension on my fabric. And here's what my work is looking like. And as I'm knitting, my knitting machine will actually count my rows for me. And once I've finished knitting all of my rows, I can begin to cast off. I will take my yarn out of the carriage and grab my transfer tool. And with the transfer tool, I will take the second stitch in from the end and place it on the very end stitch on the side that your carriage is on. And then you're just going to place both stitches back on that first needle and knit them together by hand. So again, I'm just taking the second stitch in from the end, placing it on the end stitch, pulling both stitches off and replacing them on that first needle and then knitting together. And I'm going to have to do this all the way across. So I'm just working on my very last stitch here, placing both stitches on the needle and then knitting them both together. And then from there I can cut my yarn and just pull the tail through that very last loop there. And here is my fabric. It's very curled when it first comes off the machine, but once it has time to rest and if you block it, it will lay flat, and I'm going to use this one for a swatch. Thanks for watching.